Hello, greetings everyone, wherever you're watching us from. Welcome to yet another episode of Black Mental Health Matters. And today we are going to talk about meditation, physical exercise, and mental health. And today I'm very delighted to have two wonderful ladies in the studios. Both of them are specialists. One is a specialist in meditation, the other a specialist in physicals. She actually also does Zumba. Zumba, I don't know what it's all about, but she will take us through. Without taking much of your time, let me introduce our guests. They'll also go ahead to tell us more about themselves later on. We have Dr. Latonya Thomas in the studios. She's a meditation specialist. She's from the Texas, USA, right? That's if I'm right.
Yes.
Yes. And then we also have Gerry Opoka. She's Ugandan. She's right here in Uganda. And she's a Zumba specialist. She's a physical specialist. She does a lot of stuff, but she's going to take us through her introduction so that she can tell us more about herself, and then also Dr. Latonya will follow and as we get into the conversation. So beginning with you, Gerry. Who are you? Who is Gerry? Who is Mrs. Gerry Opoka? So just take us through. Besides Zumba, who are you?
So I am Gerry I'm a mother of two. I'm a wife. Mm-hmm. I am a Zumba instructor, yes. Zumba is dance fitness. It's a dance fitness style. I'm also a mental health advocate and champion. I support, amongst other things, our national referral hospital here in Uganda. And we have been doing Zumba with the patients for 3 years up until COVID. And more than dance, working with these patients, I actually got a perspective of mental health that I think very few people get from the patients in the institution, how they view those of us who think we are not okay. And then also I know from my perspective and those who are like me, who think we are okay, who believe we are okay, I got to see how we view these patients. Now, I also, from chatting with the practitioners at the hospital, I'm able to see how they look at the two sides, those who are sick and those who are not sick. So that is how I started doing a lot of the advocacy and mental health championing work that I do. I'm from where this started actually is from the Zumba classes that I teach. I predominantly have clients who are one ladies, two from the age of 35 and above. And I started realizing that there was something that was happening to us as we danced. I used to say then that it was some sort of healing that's happening that I didn't understand. It's only when I started working with the patients at the hospital that I knew that we were actually healing people who did not know they had mental health challenges. So that is really it.
Okay, thank you so much. So Dr. Latonya, kindly introduce yourself and then we can get into the topic.
Okay. So I'm Dr. Latonya Thomas. I think you guys only see me on the anniversary show, but I'm a registered nurse. I've been a registered nurse for over 10 years. I obtained my doctorate in nursing practice last year in 2020. I became a certified meditation instructor last year and also became a certified legal nurse consultant as well. My goal with that meditation studio is to basically build awareness around mental health and help break the mental health stigma that we have, by using my personal story.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Latonya. So now we are diving into the topic itself. Today we are talking physical health, we are talking meditation, we are talking dance, and we are talking mental health. All this into mental health. So we are going to look at how useful is meditation, how useful is Zumba, how useful is all these other physicals that we do, running, jumping, all these other things into our mental health. Because ideally, if you look at people who do physicals, most of them are doing them, for example, men, they're doing them to get 8 packs, for example. Others are doing them, yes, for ladies, we are doing it to maintain our figures, not to grow so fat. We are doing them probably to maintain our physical health generally. But how often do we think about maintaining our mental health? And if I should start with you, Gerry, what type of exercises should someone get involved in to maintain a better mental health status. Because ideally, someone is going to do, they will go running, they will do the jumping, they will lift these heavy stuff to, to have the physical ability appear so well. So if it comes to mental health, what type of exercises am I supposed to get involved in as a person?
So first of all, and that's a fantastic question. First of all, exercise. I feel that exercise, the word exercise on its own makes it seem like we have to be inside a gym. And that's where, the whole lifting of weights and six pack and all that comes from. Mental health is about shifting energy. When we move our bodies, we know that we are energy. So for me, what we need to focus on is physical activity. When we are physically active, you can bring exercise into that bucket. You can bring housework into that bucket. You can bring a walk to the store, or in that bucket. You can put spending time with children, doing activities with children. All that is physical activity. And when you're physically active, when you move this mass of energy, you're moving not just the body. Your mind is now no longer focused on whatever it was focused on, because when you move your body, you're thinking about your body. You're thinking about the activity that you're engaging in. So you are disconnecting from wherever your mind was stuck, okay? And when you shift this energy, what we see when we are doing the shifting is we see bodily movement and the physical. What we do not see that actually happens is the movement also that happens in the mind. When my body is stuck, when my body is not moving enough, my mind also actually does not move enough. So wherever I'm seated, it's like we're stuck in a pot. And if I'm not moving, then my spirit is also struggling, because my spirit is, with my body. So if I'm not moving, it's not moving. So everything is struggling. Now, when we move, be it for exercise or just doing activity, we start to release our bodies, our minds, to be able to open up more to other possibilities if we're dealing with situations and so on and so forth. So exercise and this physical activity really takes us out of a loop we may be stuck in, a chain or train of thought that we may be stuck in. Now, if you are doing it in a specific place, say you're doing exercise, if you're going to lift weights, if you're going to do Zumba and dance in a group, if you're deliberately and intentionally going somewhere to do the workout, then you have an even bigger mind shift, because now you are being intentional. Now you are switching everything off to say, I am going to do XYZ. So physical activity, fantastic. Exercise is more intentional. So that really helps to switch the mind from wherever it was.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much. So, Dr. Latonya, we are doing a mix. We are talking meditation, physical activity. I don't know if meditation lies in physical activity or exercise. Maybe you could take us through what is meditation in the first place. If someone says, I want to meditate, it sounds like a kind of prayer, like I'm going to pray to meditate the Holy Spirit. I mean,
and
what is it? Yes.
So, meditation as a whole, I know that's a huge myth that people think meditation is basically, you going into solitude, or you praying, or it being a religious practice. It isn't. Meditation is basically you being present in that moment, in that exact moment. Because a lot of times I've noticed, and this is why I kind of started meditating, you notice that you're not being present in that moment. Your mind constantly wanders. Our mind is gonna wander. That we're supposed to have all these thoughts, and these thoughts go through our minds, and these things race through our heads. But that can make you physically tired. That can cause you to be fatigued. So a lot of times you have to learn different outlets to help balance the mind, balance those thoughts, being able to actually process the thoughts and actually push them through, because you can't stop thinking. So meditation for me as a whole is a place where I can find my solitude, my peace, my harmony, and I can actually be be present in that moment and deal with what I need to deal with and have those feelings and those emotions and allow them to pass.
Okay. Dr. Latonya, what is the difference between yoga and meditation? If someone says I want to do yoga, because ideally I have seen people try to do almost a similar things. What's the difference between the two?
Yoga is actually physical activity. So you're doing the mind process as well with yoga, but you're actually incorporating movements to actually help as well. So that goes with physical health and the physical exercise. Meditation is just something that you're sitting, it's a seated position or you're laying and you're just being in that moment. You're not moving, you're not doing anything. You're focusing on what you need to focus on so you can meditate effectively.
Okay. So when it comes to focus, I mean, if I'm meditating, I'm supposed to focus to be in the moment itself. What am I supposed to do to the different distractions? I have thought, I have a mind, I'm going to think of probably a boyfriend who shocked me yesterday. I'm going to start crying at that moment as I think through it. So how am I supposed to control the negative thoughts from invading my brain so that I can maintain a healthy thought in my mind?
And that's the thing. So whatever you're going through at that time, when you sit down to meditate, the goal is for you to, be in that moment, focus, find you a focal point. Some people find a focal point. Some people, I close my eyes and that's kind of how I find my zone in that moment. And you're gonna have those thoughts. So whatever those thoughts are, whether they're negative or positive, you want those thoughts to come to the forefront. You accept them, you recognize them, and then you process them and you let them, pass. That's the whole process. Because like I said, you can't stop your mind from thinking. You can't stop those thoughts. And a lot of people, I think, with meditation, that's why they fail at it, because they feel like they can, oh, I'm supposed to stop everything. Like my brain is not supposed to be moving and wonder. No, it's supposed to. Like you have to let it do what it's supposed to do. And then you pass it and let it go through, and then you meditate effectively.
Okay. Thank you so much. Getting to you, Gerry. Sometimes I've seen a lot of people when they're exercising, they should put earphones in their ears, they're listening to music, or probably they are playing music in their room or somewhere. What is the importance of having that music just distracting my mind instead of me focusing on the exercise itself? What is the importance of that music? And how destructive is it?
So first of all, when you're doing exercise, there's nothing to focus on per se, because if you're going to lift a weight, that's just what it is. When you listen to music lifts your mood. Music lifts your vibration. Music is so heavenly because angels sing, and when a baby is born, I always say when a baby is born and you play music, when they have some sort of control over their movement, they will start bobbing their heads to music. So when you listen to music, it takes you to a place actually where, life is suddenly beautiful. The tones in the song and, the words of the song, whatever it is, it just lifts up your spirit and just helps you maybe even do more with the exercise. It actually distracts you from feeling like, okay, I'm tired from this exercise, maybe I need to stop. Music pumps, it just pumps you and makes you keep going. So it's actually very important for us to even switch off. It's difficult to listen to music and think about problems outside of the music. So you'll be listening to the lyrics of the song, and just sometimes you're trying to remember where you were when you heard that song. And if you ask me, there's music that actually depresses you. There's songs that I do not listen to. If somebody has passed away, I took note. When somebody has passed away, there's music that is played when they're remembering the person that would make me cry so much. And sometimes I think, I don't even know this person that well. Why am I so sad? Because now I'm so aware of my thoughts and what I'm feeling. I'm like, why am I sad? Then I always laugh. I'm like, oh God, it's the song. It's the song. So music is very, very important. It helps to distract. It helps to, push you forward. And yeah, so that's really why people listen to music. It shuts out the world.
So does the type of music that one listens to while exercising matter? am I supposed to listen to, for example, reggae, dancehall, gospel? What type of music should someone listen to? Does it really matter? It's up to my mood.
You have to listen to music that makes you happy. Music that makes you want to do the exercise, that makes you switch off. Whatever your spirit is telling you at that time, listen to that.
Okay. Talking about music, Dr. Latonya, is music allowed in meditation, or am I supposed to let my mind be free to think, to let all these sounds come into my ears, the bird singing, the goats crying, all that thing? Or the music also helps me meditate better?
Some people, I know some people that don't listen to music when they sit down to meditate. I have adopted that I do, I do listen to the guided meditations. Where the guided meditations is where people are actually, the music is in the background and someone is talking over that music to kind of guide you through the process of your actual meditation session. And then sometimes I will just listen to whatever sounds, like where. So, and even when I'm having migraines, I'll listen. That's when I pretty much just listen to like sounds. They have different sounds, different frequencies, different um, sounds basically that will help with different brain waves and actually, move you to still meditate and still be present in that moment, because like I said, the goal is for you to deal with those thoughts and process them, actually recognize them and deal with them and move through them. So whether you're using music, using guided meditation, or just basically, just listening to sounds, that can help you either way.
Dr. Latonya, again, what kind of therapy does meditation bring to me? Because I'm looking at someone who has been mentally challenged maybe for the past couple of years or months, and here you are telling them to meditate, that they are going to get better. I mean, someone's going to think, how am I even going to sit down and begin, shutting my mind and maybe focusing on something that's going to get me better. I mean, it might not sound so right to me if I have lots of problems that made me mentally challenged at some point. So how would you convince someone that if they meditated, their mental health would improve?
So my saying is meditation is a marathon. It's not a sprint. So a lot of people think that, they go into it and like I said, they think that meditation at that very moment is going to change everything. It's going to change the whole entire world. It's going to change my mood. It's going to, make me happy. It's going to wipe away all my problems. That's not the goal for meditation. Meditation is something that you work with over time and you build your practice. So literally when I started, I can only sit for 5 minutes at a time. And then eventually, as the months passed, I worked myself up to having meditation sittings for an hour and a half. That brings me peace. That brings me harmony. So that takes time for you to actually get to that point. But you have to start small and then work your way up. And like I said, as a whole, I've learned with my mental health, a lot of times, being present in that moment, actually dealing with certain things, it has changed my thought process on how I react to certain things that happen on a day-to-day basis that, in the past may have stressed me out. I probably would have just flipped my, wig and just went off on someone. It makes you be more aware. And like I said, you are more alert and aware of what's going on. How do you want to react? How do you want that to shift your energy? Do you want that to shift your energy? So those are the things that meditation kind of helps you build a practice around and actually build your, your meditation sittings and whatnot.
Okay. I think going back to Gerry, no, we have to talk meditation, talk physical activity. We have to do a mix up here and there. So Gerry, if someone is set up exercise for mental health, how long should they take to exercise? Because most times I see people who are trying to cut weight, who are trying to reduce their weight, or are trying to build 8 packs. Someone's going to go to the gym and, they'll be like, I have to spend maybe about an hour lifting these heavy things. I'm going to spend maybe 2 hours. So if I'm doing it for my mental health, how long should I do it? And on a weekly basis, how many times should I do it every day? Should I do it once a week? And how much time should I take while getting involved in it?
I get asked this question a lot about how much time we should take doing a workout. And if you do not have time to work out, if you're pressed for time, find 30 minutes and squeeze a workout in. If you have time, 1 hour. 1 hour is long enough for you to, to shut your mind and move your body enough that you actually switch off from all, whatever it is that has been bugging you, and also to make whatever was stuck unstuck. Dance, I also realized along the way somewhere that dance really is also like a meditation. And how did I know this? There are times we'd come to class. I'll tell you this one story. This lady comes to class. I think she was having a fight with her husband on the phone. And she's, I could see her so animated and so angry. And so class started and she, took a few more minutes and then just literally switched off the phone and walked into class, really upset. After an hour and 15 minutes, we have a chit chat in the changing room, then she goes home. The next day she calls me and says, when she got home, her husband was ready. He was ready for her, for the fight. And she got home, she was so happy, she was bubbly, talking to the kids, and he kept waiting. By the time they went to bed, he was like, what happened to you, what happened? Because by the time you got off the phone, you were so mad. And she was like, I love Zumba so much because it really fixes me. That is when I realized that, wait, for 1 hour, you cannot dance and listen to music and also focus on what happened before the class or after the class. So when you're doing your exercise, you are actually in the now. You are in your now. If you're lifting a weight, you're focusing on lifting it right. You're focusing on the right position. You're focusing on what your muscles are doing, how you're feeling. You have no time to, think of other things. So if you give yourself an hour is such a good time to flip you completely that you will not remember where you were. Absolutely not. So 1 hour for me is ideal.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you so much. And then the people who do exercises who get involved in physical activity or workouts, they
Yes.
say if I exercise and I don't sweat, it means I have not felt the exercise in my body. But take an example of myself. I never sweat, like I've never seen myself sweat. I don't know if I'm normal or not normal. Yes, I may not be so much into physical activity, but I don't sweat. Even when I do a lot of hard work or something, I don't sweat. I don't know what happened to me. I don't know if I'm normal. So in my case, if I exercise and I don't sweat, should I really say I have gotten 0 out of 100? Or
So I think the measure of whether you have done physical activity is whether you have done physical activity. First of all, that is the baseline. I went to skip. Did I skip or did I not skip? Now, sweat, I've had so many people over the years come to my class and say, oh, by the way, I don't sweat. Like, I just want to let you know I do not sweat. And I've not had anybody who made that claim continue to claim it after 2 weeks. In fact, by the second week, we've forgotten the conversation because they're sweating. I cannot say what we do, but I think it is part of that. What's the word for it? It is the surrender, if you may. It is just giving in to what you're doing and completely losing yourself in it. You actually relax a lot more than you realize, because then your sweat glands also completely relax and your pores open and you're able to sweat. But also you have to bear in mind that people who are working out in winter on a cold morning, are they not doing the exercise? The sweat glands and our skins are supposed to regulate our body temperature based on the temperature outside. Okay, so when it's hot outside, the body needs to cool. It will release sweat. That sweat that's on the outside of your body kind of meets with the air and then cools your body. It's the same on a cold day. Your body has no business sweating because it's already cool enough on the outside. So we should not look so much for some of those things like, sweat. I know people who are fitness instructors who switch the AC off, switch the fan off, close the windows, and will not allow their the students in their class to even drink water. I went to a class once where they said, do not drink water, you're going to bring your body temperature down. I was like, no, I'm going to die. Why? Because they are looking for people to sweat, and they think, so that's where that comes from. They think that if you don't sweat, you'll come out of there saying you've not done the workout, but it's not the same at all.
You see, for my sake, if you close the windows, remove the AC, I would still not sweat. I would just stay there. I feel the heat in my body. I feel like a lot of heat, but I do not get a sweat in my body. So you might close the ACs, you might refuse to give me water, and I will suffocate and die, Anyway.
I will welcome you to come to our class. But then we can test this out.
I'll be there soon. Dr. Latonya, when I've seen people when they are doing meditation, there is a kind of sitting posture that someone is supposed to be sitting in. You fold your legs, then you make your arms, I don't know, face which direction. I don't know. Is that the only way someone can meditate? If I sat and straighten my legs on my mat somewhere, wouldn't I meditate? Do I have to really fold my legs? Because that process needs someone to be so physically fit. Now for me, who's not physically fit, if I fold my one leg, I'm going to feel pain. If I fold the other leg, I'll feel pain. So if I want to be comfortable, exercise, and I stretch my legs, won't I meditate the same way the other person is meditating? Or will something be lacking?
So you can sit or you can lie. So a lot of times, if you're sitting, I do tend to cross my legs, and I see that that is warranted, because the goal is if you're sitting, you want your back to be straight. You want your spine to be straight. So you're in that seated position. And then once you take your hands, sometimes I put my hands together like this and I put them on my lap. Sometimes I actually put them together and I hold them together if I'm, going to put them in front of me, and I just sit them in my lap peacefully. So the seated position helps. And like I said, when you're meditating and you're doing your breathing, the goal is for you, once you're doing that breathing exercise, you take those breaths in and out, you start to feel your body kind of relax. And you kind of start to drop into that comfortable seated position, and everything is open. The lungs are open. So you're sitting comfortably. You can lie. A lot of times, the few times that I have laid down meditating, I've fallen asleep. So if that, you can lay down if that works for you. Like if you can't sit with your legs crossed for a long period of time, then I suggest you do lay down, and it'll be a little comfortable. But also too, getting the right cushion, material like pillow for you, that helps tremendously. Because I know when I first started, I didn't have the cushions and all of that other things. Once I kind of switched and really got into the mode and knowing that I was going to be meditating on the regular, I purchased this cushion. I love this cushion to death, because I do tend to get numb. My legs start to get numb. I tingle if my legs stay crossed too long. So that cushion has helped me a whole lot.
Okay. Talking about breathing, because I remember when I was a little girl. Yeah, I was also a little bit at some point. I was very little. I don't know how about you guys. I don't know if you are little at some point, but me, I was little at some point. When I was little, maybe in my lower classes, I remember they used to tell us, breathe in, breathe out. And when they tell you to breathe in, you have to hold your breath for some long time. And then breathe out. Like you feel like you have been holding in so much. So should I assume those people were telling us meditate, though they were not sure of it, but should I assume it was also some kind of meditation?
So a lot of times, just starting out the breath work, the goal is for you want to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. You don't want to force it. You don't have to like, no, you want to, you find your peace. And like I said, once you're getting your stance and you're in your position, you take those slow deep breaths and You can hold it for a few seconds and then you just want to release it. And like I said, the more breaths you take, you start to notice that your body kind of relaxed. You're breathing from that diaphragm, so you're opening everything up, it's moving up, and then you feel that body kind of relax, and you feel, your shoulders, everything starts to kind of open up. And that is the key, because a lot of people have to learn the proper breathing techniques to actually meditate effectively too. Because if you're not, then it can hinder the whole process.
So how much time should I take doing my meditation? If I sat somewhere, I crossed my legs. Oh, like I decided to sleep like you. How much longer should I sleep or should I cross my legs before I can say I have done it all for that day?
I would say, like I said, beginners, if you're new to it, I would say start with seatings at about 5 minutes. And then kind of work your way up. You add 5 minutes each time. So like I said, when I started, you're going to know that you can't sit there for 10 minutes in the first seating. Like, it's not going to happen. It's just not, and it's not going to be effective if you do, because it's so many layers that you need to add to meditate effectively, that it takes time for you to build and know what works for you, what breathing works for you. Because some people, breathe a little differently. You have to build that practice up. So I would say start 5 minutes. It could just be breath work. That's what you're doing. So when I first started, I used to just get on YouTube and find a video, and whatever I wanted to focus on for that session, that's what I would do. So if I wanted to learn how to breathe effectively, I'll go on YouTube, search for it, put it in, put my headphones on, and that's what I would focus on for that session. And that's why I say it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. So you have to build your practice for it to be effective in your meditation.
Okay, thank you so much. Gerry, one time I visited the referral hospital, and I found some people, I don't know if you are among them because I didn't know you by then. I found some people trying to do some bit of exercises just besides the female convalescent ward. You know what that is?
Yes, I do.
So, yes. If let me say, if someone is depressed, or someone is a drug addict, or someone is having maybe some other mental health challenges, do all these people need to do that same type of physical activity, or do you have different physicals for different types of people?
I think, like everything else, different things appeal to different people. We actually at the hospital provide currently we had the Zumba, and are we still there? Okay, good. Sorry, I thought I'd lost you guys. So yes, we have Zumba and aerobics. For Zumba, there's some people who just feel so shy about dancing, and they don't feel very comfortable. So those will go and do the aerobics class. The aerobics class is probably what you saw near the convalescent ward, while the Zumba happens inside the occupational therapy section. But there's also people who prefer yoga, although we do not have a yoga instructor currently. But definitely there's lots of people who would benefit from things like yoga, from meditation practices. So yes, you choose what works for you. There are some people who play soccer, the football pitches, and some will engage in more sporting activity, like mainstream sports, as opposed to exercise.
But I'm looking at this in a way that I'm a patient, and I came to seek help from a medical facility. And there I found Mrs. Gerry, who is supposed to take me through all these, steps for me to heal better. Now, I'm assuming if you're to do exercises, you must know Claire is depressed, she's supposed to do aerobics. You must know so-and-so is a drug addict that's supposed to be doing this. So-and-so is having this kind of thing. So when you tell me I'm supposed to choose what I like, I mean, I might choose what I like, but it's not good for the situation I'm going through at the moment. So you, as Gerry, what would you do for me at that particular moment?
I cannot say that there is a particular fitness style that is not good for a particular condition. No, it depends purely on the individual. And for the ones that we dance with, for example, word will go around the hospital that Gerry is coming today, and those who want to dance will come. So there's two things. One, there's people who want to dance and people who are able to dance based on where they are in their recovery journey with the hospital. So they will choose. The ones who don't want to dance will go for the aerobic sessions. So it really depends on what an individual wants. There's no physical activity style that is wrong. It's just what the person wishes to do.
Okay, besides that, I know at the referral there are people who, like right now, there are people who are almost getting discharged. There are those who are being discharged, and then there are those who are still so sickly and are still under admission. And so when you're going to do the exercises, do you say we are only going to allow these people who are going to get discharged to get involved, or do you allow anyone as long as they want to come and join, or do you actually go into the wards and say, you people, today we have an aerobics class, all of us are supposed to be participating so that we can heal better or we can heal quickly and go back home? Do you do that, or do you just make it to meet my concern kind of activity?
Okay, so we as an organization external to the hospital work with the occupational therapy department. Patients who are doing occupational therapy now have come from, the very strict, medication and other therapies, that now they are trying to find activities for them to do that help them cope with the outside world. They will have storytelling, they will have cooking, they will have they'll do plays, they'll do dance, it's all kinds of things. There's knitting, just for the doctors or for the health workers to see how well they cope in a semi-normal environment, and how, what are their motor skills, like, can they knit, can they actually sit down for 30 minutes and focus on a particular activity. So we work very closely with them. They are the ones who select the patients who are well enough for that activity. Because if someone is very heavily sedated, they will not. And we've had patients who have come for the class. They are quite sedated. They will stand right in the middle of the dance room. They want to dance, but all their moves come almost like 45 seconds after everyone else. And it used to bother me. I would feel like, do they even know what they're doing? Won't we hurt them? When I realized that the move is just slow, but they want to do it, I just thought, by all means, anyone who wants to dance, even the ones who are walking past, sometimes they're looking through the window, we're like, just come in. And they'll come and, whatever they're able to do, they do. But we work very closely with the hospital to select who can and cannot come to the classes.
Okay, thank you, Gerry. Getting back to you, Dr. Latonya. When it comes to meditation, do you also visit these psychiatric centers to see these people who are passing through these different mental health situations so that you can teach them, meditate? I mean, lying on your bed all day long is not going to help cure you so soon. Do you also go there and do that? And how do they perceive, how do they receive it?
I haven't, but that is the goal. Because I have been doing research, and I know that there's some hospitals that actually have meditation rooms for their staff to actually go to and take time away to actually meditate. And the patient satisfaction rates have improved tremendously from that. And then also with with the pandemic and everything that's going on, we have children in schools that are meditating as well. So meditation is becoming more to the forefront. So I'm sure there will be opportunities for me to actually incorporate that and actually move forward with that, because that can, it helps with everything as a whole. So
thank you so much. Talking about, you brought in an aspect of schools, communities. Gerry, let me first talk to you because you're Ugandan, so, and I know the Ugandan situation. You are helping the referral with the exercises, with the Zumba, aerobics, all those things. Do you have plans? Because mental health does not start from the hospital, it starts from the community. It starts from back home, starts from the schools. Do you have plans, or have you actually gone ahead to take these activities to schools, to churches, to different communities, tell people, you know what? When you feel depressed, when you feel this way, act like this and it's gonna get better. Have you tried to do that? Or do you have plans of doing that?
So we have done a few outreach programs with a school. I went to one particular school, a school that my daughter went to, and just listening to some of the issues that they had, I thought, and anyway, young children love music, they love to dance. So I just thought, it might be a great idea to go and just have a chat with them about mental health. In Uganda, as you are well aware, we do not have mental health conversations almost at all.
Yeah.
And even though we talk about it now, when an individual says they have a mental health challenge, we normally will brush it off because we also do not know what to do with it. So when I go to the school, every time I'd go, I spoke to them about it, and then we did the dance. And when you dance, like I said, things shift, like the energy moves, and then you kind of, your mind expands, and now you're ready to talk. People are always ready to talk after they've danced. So a lot of children would come and tell me, all manner of things. And I say to them, I, I do not know how much I can help you, but I can guarantee that I will be here whenever you need me. And, we've continued. Some of them, it's been 3 years that, I speak to them. They have major challenges with their parents. And I say, every time you feel like you want to attack your mom, give me a call
Dance.
and we'll talk through it. And I mean, it's just amazing, the power of talking. So talking and being seen. We do not see these children and they suffer. So just for me, that has been the most powerful thing. And if, when children are back in school, we definitely will do more of these outreach programs, really to let them know that your concern, your feelings, your emotional challenges are valid, and there are people who want to listen to you and help you, just sieve through. There's so much that goes through these young minds, so much. And if you ask me, a child who has gone from being a child to switch to being a teenager is going through adolescence. We see the changes that happen in the body. Breasts are growing, periods are starting, voices are changing. You're like, who's this man? Like, yesterday he sounded like my young son. Today he's got like some weird thing, like 3 people are inside his throat trying to come out. And I mean, there's so much. The face breaks out into like all kinds of things. So we see that on a physical level. Do we ever think about what is happening to them in the mind? Do we ever think that spirit, the spirit that is who we are, because we are spirit beings first, right? The spirit has also made a shift from being a child to being a semi-adult. Now they're starting and they're thinking differently. They want to be involved. They want to be heard. They want to be a part of decisions that we make as parents where they are concerned. And then to a parent, we are thinking, you are still the young child that you were yesterday, so do not ask me to consult you. And that's where the friction comes in. You'll find that a lot of friction happens when these children are about 14. 13, we celebrate, yay, we've hit the teenage years, we are grown. Then you're wondering what has happened to this child, because at 14, they're talking back because they cannot hold it in anymore. They just need to get it out and tell you, listen to me, look at me. This is what I'm going through. You're like, oh, just go and pray. We need to pray about it. It will go away. So it's been really, really important when we go to these schools, you dance with them and they feel like you understand each other on that level. You play songs that they like, you pull some dance moves that they think are reserved for only them. That really breaks barriers. And they come in and they're like, "Ooh, I really want to now talk to you like my friend." So I want to do a lot more outreach programs for children.
Actually, there is something that you say that intrigued me. You say that because you talk to these children so much, you said, if you get a problem, please call me. And in my mind, I was like, if you get a problem, please dance. If you feel like you want to fight with your mother, please dance. So that
Yes, yes,
so
yes,
the fighting spirit goes away. And then I'm thinking,
yes,
if I want to fight with my mother, and then all of a sudden I'm switching to dancing, wouldn't she think that something is
exactly.
wrong with my mind? you know,
That's
uh,
true. That's so true.
yes. Anyway, Dr. Latonya, is meditation a sport? Because I understand Gerry with Zumba, with exercises, that's all sports. So is meditation also a sport? If I sat down and I'm kind of meditating and I began, living the present like you said,
That's a
I'm training my brain at that moment. Should I say it is a sport? What should I call it?
that's a good question. I wouldn't say it's a sport. I would say it's in a different realm, a different bracket. You probably can put it in some sort of physical exercise because like I said, it is a process. You are, maneuvering things and dealing with your thoughts and dealing with your feelings and your emotions. But I wouldn't say I think it's a sport. Um
So what is it? What is it? How do you clarify it? What is it?
I classify it as mental healing, like some sort of um, mental activities, being able to focus that in that realm. I wouldn't say it's a sport, but like I said, it does have its benefits where it helps with mental health, like exercises does. But I wouldn't
Mhm.
say, since we're not moving and doing certain things, you're not releasing those endorphins, those hormones and things aren't um, being released physically. It's more so of a mental journey, like a mental journey, and dealing with those thought process. Um,
So, Dr. Latonya, because according to what you've shared with us today, it means that if I want to meditate, I must be in one place, no movement, no nothing, just living that moment. So I'm thinking, what if I'm on my bike, I'm riding, and it's me. I'm riding alone. I'm on the road. I have maybe music in my ears, and I'm focusing on that moment itself. Could I, if I told my neighbor that I'm meditating, would I be lying? Would I be telling the truth? Would I be in between? Where would I be?
it would be considered meditation. It's not only meditation. It's not only you sitting in a quiet space with everything off and meditating with your eyes closed. There's walking meditations. There's meditations when you're being active and you're in the building. It's just literally meditation is focusing on what's going on in that present moment wherever you are. However that is for you, as long as you're working through those thoughts and you're maneuvering your mind to think that you're meditating and you're trying to find that peace that's in that specific time, then that's considered meditation.
Okay, thank you so much. We are getting to the close of today's show. So I'm going to request each one of you to give your last remarks as regards meditation, physical activity, and mental health. So like we started, let us also start with Gerry. Like she started at the beginning, let her also end first.
So first of all, I'd like to thank you guys so much for, for having this dialogue, for bringing topics like this for us to speak about. We need to speak way more about mental health. I would like to encourage people to not overthink exercise. Do not overthink it. Do something. Move your body. Move your body. That moves your mind. It shifts your mind because we get stuck in a loop. You have to get out of that loop to understand what you were stuck in, what thought was kind of, not working. So let's move more. Let's dance. Just play music all the time and get up and dance. Get up and dance with the children. Dancing is the one thing that levels the field for everybody. I do not care if you're a president or if you are a 5-year-old child. When music plays, we are all exactly the same. And that the healing is exactly the same. So just play music when you want to fight with your mom, like you said. play music and allow that emotion to, just fade away, and then come back, and you'll be amazed the new perspective you'll have to your issue.
Thank you so much, Dr. Latonya. Your
So
last remarks?
I want to thank you guys as well for bringing me on board and us having this discussion. Um, my takeaway and what I would want everyone to take away is knowing that, your mental health is important. Meditation is only one avenue that you can utilize to help, deal and cope with your mental health and the issues that you have. The biggest thing that I've learned through my journey and my personal story is, you sometimes you have to have a combination of different treatment options. So medication, doing physical activity, having therapy, having a counselor, having someone to speak to, incorporating meditation into your day-to-day practice. Those things are all portions of your treatment plan. So you need to find what's going to work for you, and that will help you maneuver and actually live your life and be your best self. But overall, that is my biggest takeaway, what I would want anyone to take away from it.
Thank you so much, Dr. Latonya. Thank you so much, Gerry. It's been a wonderful conversation, and I'm so happy that you people honored my invitation. None of you even said no, 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 no. Each one of you was like, yeah, wanna be there. And I'm very excited having you here today. And we also want to thank Tunacheki TV for airing our event. We thank you so much. And all our viewers worldwide, we don't take it for granted. I see people from Kenya, Algeria, Zimbabwe, South Sudan, Nigeria. You're so many. I cannot take it for granted. People are giving us your time to, to listen in. Thank you so much for everyone who has been watching us, wherever in the world you're watching us from. From me here in Uganda, I will say good night because it's, we are going to sleep a few hours from now. To the US, I think it's a good morning. To the other people, wherever you are, it's a good afternoon, and greetings if I have not mentioned, if I don't know what time it is in your area. So catch you next time. Tune in next Saturday for another thrilling conversation from me, Nastas Rakleya, and my team. Would like to say bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.